Basic English parts of speech. Part 1. When learning English grammar, it's important to know about the different parts of speech that make up the language so you can understand how to communicate clearly and effectively. In this video, you'll find a list of the different parts of speech, an explanation of what each part does, and some examples and helpful tips. First part. Nouns. Nouns are used for a person, place, thing, quality, activity, idea, or feeling. There are different types of nouns. A proper noun is the name of a specific person. For example, Tony. Or a place. For example, New York. These nouns are always capitalized. A common noun is not capitalized. These nouns are used to describe general places and things. For example, house or mom, and they have singular and plural forms. For example, house and houses. A concrete noun describes something that we can see, hear, touch, feel, or taste. For example, rain or grass. These nouns can also have singular and plural forms. An abstract noun describes something that we can't perceive with our senses. It means you cannot see, smell, hear, taste, or touch abstract nouns. For example, happiness or freedom. A countable noun describes something that you can count. These nouns also have singular and plural forms. For example, truck and trucks. A non-collective noun is something that can't be counted. For example, water and air. A collective noun describes a group of people or things. For example, herd and flock. Note that there are special rules governing the formation of plural nouns. Most of the time, you will add an S to the end of the noun, as in cars. However, I have a special video that you need to watch in order to learn how to form the plural of any English noun. Second part. Pronouns. Pronouns replace nouns in a sentence. It's a good idea to use pronouns at times to help avoid repetitiveness in your writing. For example, the sentence Nancy needed bread, so she said she would go to the store to get it contains 3 pronouns, 2 uses of she and 1 use of it. That sentence is a lot less awkward than Nancy needed bread, so Nancy said Nancy would go to the store to get bread. It's important to note that if you are going to use a pronoun, you must make sure you have already identified the noun it will replace in the sentence. To continue our previous example, saying she needed something, so she said she would go get it is confusing. Who is she, and what is it? There are 7 basic types of pronouns. Subjective personal pronouns are used to replace the subject in a sentence. They are I, you, he, she, we, they, and it. Objective personal pronouns replace the object of a verb in a sentence. They are me, you, him, her, us, them, and it. Possessive personal pronouns indicate possession. They are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs, and its. Reflexive pronouns are used when the object and subject in a sentence are the same. They are myself, yourself, himself, herself, ourselves, themselves, and itself. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. They are what, which, who, whom, and whose. Demonstrative pronouns are used to replace a noun and distinguish it from other things. They are this, that, these, and those. Indefinite pronouns don't refer to any specific person, place, or thing. They include pronouns such as everyone, anywhere, anything, and someone. Third part. Verbs. There are three kinds of verbs in the English language: transitive, intransitive, and linking. A transitive verb shows that an action is applied to an object. In the sentence, I took the kids to school, the verb took shows that I performed an action on the object of the sentence, which is the kids. An intransitive verb indicates an action that is not applied to an object. For example, in the sentence I sang, I performed an action that is not linked to an object. A linking verb links the subject to the rest of the sentence. These verbs include being verbs like feel and seem, as well as helping verbs like have, be, and do. Verbs can be changed to show whether an action took place in the past, present, or future. These different forms are known as verb tenses. English uses 6 basic tenses. The past tense indicates an action that has already taken place. For example, he walked. The present tense indicates an action that is currently occurring. For example, he walks. The future tense indicates an action that will take place. For example, he will walk. The present perfect uses the past participle and either have or has to indicate an action that began in the past and is still occurring. For example, he has walked for exercise for 20 years. The past perfect uses the past participle and had to indicate a past action that took place before another action. For example, he had walked 5 miles to get to the store. The future perfect uses the past participle and will have to indicate an action that will be completed at a specific time in the future. For example, he will have walked 5 miles by this afternoon. Verbs also have 2 voices, active and passive. In active voice, the subject of the sentence performs an action, he sings a song. In this case, he is the subject and the action is singing. In passive voice, the subject receives the action. For example, the song was sung by him. Thank you for watching.